You're listening to littlepodcast.com.
So basically, he's building an Iron Man.
Is it Iron Man?
What is going on here?
It's just like total hedonism.
Yeah, basically.
Indulge all of your darkest fantasies.
I just kind of poured a bunch of them in a plastic container and kept a giant colony of them.
Say my name, if no one is around you.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 236. I'm your host, John Rowe, joined by my co-hosts.
Hi, I'm Matt Hag.
And this is TJ May.
Oh, that was very professional. Oh, fuck. All right. How's everyone's week?
This is a week.
I'm an old man.
It was quite weak.
Next week, Tuesday, I'm officially an old man.
Will you be as old as I am?
You turn 31?
I'm turning 31.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's old, though.
You might as well just be dead.
Oh, I just turned 30. It's like, well, I've gone past that milestone. That's the last... Oh, no.
Still in your early 30s.
You got 3 age milestones left, though, when you're 30. You got 40, you got 50, and then you got 65, retired.
Who really retires at 65? I mean, who can afford to retire at 65? Anymore.
That's true. My dad retired at 63 or 62, he is.
I want to retire right now.
He retired, but he didn't really retire. He said he was going to retire, but then he started working like part-time. So
sometimes it's just boredom.
And I think that was part of it. He just had seasonal work at like a bank during like the winter. They're like, we need help. And he was like, well, all right. And then they were like, all right, seasonal's over. So you can, we'll hire you back next year. Like, all right, if I'm not doing anything. He's just waiting for my mom to retire. She's a little bit younger. So, but I think, she's going to retire next year. So I'll have 2 retired parents. But no, I'm an old because I hurt I pulled a muscle in my like ribs and like my side. Like my right hand side, like where my ribs are, I like pulled a muscle. So like when I like try and turn, when like you sit and you turn the top half of your body but keep the bottom half of your body, that muscle,
yeah,
I pulled that somehow. So that's why I was off work, because it like hurt like a motherfucker, and like the pain just went. It's like all around from like the front, like right underneath my rib, all the way to the back, like on one side. So it's like that, whatever that muscle is that goes across. Or like the diaphragm or something there, because I was worried I got food poisoning again, but I don't think so. I think I just literally pulled that muscle from like twisting my upper body. So yeah, that's one thing you hear about when you
falling apart.
When you start getting over 30, it's like, yeah, I sneezed and threw out my neck. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that happens. Get ready for that.
I've slept funny and then like had a sore back for weeks.
I was like gonna say, I think the age number for when you start feeling old is like 26, 27, somewhere around there. Is like when it first starts. You're like, man, I usually don't get a cold that bad, but now I did. And then I think when you hit 30, it's like, yeah, you're an old now. You get sick now. Like you didn't before. It's fine. It's all part of getting old. I don't know. Sometimes you feel sad about it, but then you gotta be like, every single other person on the planet goes through this. Like, you're not alone.
Unless you die as a child.
You die.
Unless you die as a child. Sorry, TJ, can I get that sing again? Can you please say, unless you die as a child, and Matt hit that?
Unless you die as a child.
Thank you. I couldn't bypass that audio moment to save that for future blackmail of TJ when he runs for president.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, topical.
Oh my God, yeah. Hey, don't talk on a live mic or in a recording studio if you ever want to run for president.
Oh, hey, here's a tip. Every mic is a live mic, whether you think it is or not.
I was just about to say, always assume, unless you're like in your own house, that there's a live mic somewhere. Like, if you're on set, probably can hear you. Like, someone can. So, yeah.
And that's our official Born in the 80s, just the tip moment.
Yeah, that's right. Just
our politics talk. Just a tip.
I'm just saying. If you want to have that locker room talk, save it for the locker room. Save it for the spa when nobody else can hear you and everyone's naked so no one can have a wire. That's like the thing, though, when you think about it, though. Like, you know, we've grown up in a world where we know absolutely nothing's private anymore. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like...
I'm being video recorded right now. I just expect it.
Yeah, exactly. I have a video camera on my laptop. I just assume a hacker's watching me at all times.
Yeah,
that's Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not on, but I know it's watching.
Yeah. I'm just looking at...
My phone can tell the difference between when I'm sitting at my computer and when I'm sitting in the bedroom because it suggests different apps to me.
Yeah. Google's kind of weird like that.
You're at the computer. You must want to open Reddit. Oh, hey, you're in bed. You must want to open the podcast app.
Yeah. When you have like... I'm trying to think of this. Like when you have like Google, like Gmail and all that stuff, and like it starts suggesting stuff to you and you're like, was I talking about that near my phone? Like, did they pick that up? Like, and it's probably not that because I think they said that doesn't do that, but I think it's probably more like, oh, I talked about that to someone on GChat, you know, like I Google chatted that or I emailed that to someone, you know, and it's like, oh shit, there it is. Yeah. So anyway, that's my I'm old now minute. Thank you. Matt, I want to hear about your stink bugs. I know we had a little update last week.
Stink bug genocide. Yeah, okay. So in my bedroom, I have black sheets hanging over the windows because there's street lights outside that are really obnoxious.
You just don't want to see what freaky shit you get people. You don't want people to see the freaky shit you get up to in there.
Yeah.
You and
window shit going on here. Yeah.
I have a question about Tyler.
Mercury.
You call him Mercury now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like I don't know. Just call people whatever they want to be called, I figure.
That's fair enough.
Anyway.
No, I want to get into this. I don't really.
The stink bugs?
No, I want to get into the Tyler. So listeners of the podcast, Tyler has changed his name to Mercury Stardust, which is his burlesque stage name. Now it's his real name, right? Do you get the paperwork done?
I assume so.
You have to go in front of a judge and like do that? I don't know. But anyway, I'm like fine, you know, whatever. You want to be called whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like I don't, but like I feel like he got like on the aggressive like pre-defense of this by like Facebook messaging out about how like he didn't want any name shaming, and I was like, okay, like you're like I don't know, it just seemed very preemptive. Like it's a stage name. Like I don't know. Like you have to realize people have known you for 28 years as Tyler. You know, and if someone says that you're that, they're not like necessarily shaming your new name, but I think that they are attached to the name that they know and the memories they had with that
like
name.
I've slipped up a few times when I'm talking to them, and it's like that's fine, that just happens. But it's when people just refuse to accept what you want to be called and will intentionally like get aggressive about sticking to your old name that it becomes a problem. Like the same thing happens in the trans community a lot, where like post transition people will still call them by their old name.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Gender. But this is a stage name, not like a transition name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I still think
I think burlesque isn't a sexuality. Burlesque is something.
No, I'm not equating it with that.
But I mean, sometimes I feel like he's like trying to get, like, people should call you what you want to be called, obviously. But like, there's people that go through real difficulty with this, not just some people that like are like, I want to have a fun stage name. I want to be known as this person now. That's who I am. It's like that's awesome, but like, I don't know, like the name shame is like when somebody, a man wants to transition to a woman and he's not gotten the surgery or something, or, and then everyone's like, well, I'm not going to call you a woman because you look like a man. And it's like, that's bullshit. But like, I don't know. I'm going to call him by Mercury, obviously, but it's just like
deeper than just a name change for him, I think. Because I'm not going to pretend to fully understand it, but
fair enough.
He seems to. It seems to mean a lot to him.
Yeah.
So that, like, I don't care, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's just all like you can choose whoever you want to be.
No, for sure.
Like all the variables, customize the character.
I guess the thing is with me is that I find it really weird when people just get angry about stuff, and it's like, dude, if I was going to change my name and someone would be like, I'm never going to call you that, I'm like, well, fuck, you're an asshole then. Like, I don't care. Everyone who likes me and is a real good person is going to call me by what I want to be called. Like, if you're going to be a dick, why am I wasting my time thinking about you? That's just the way I think about like stuff like that, though. Personally, is like I just don't let it offend me. Like, you know what Lady Gaga said? You're born this way.
Oh, born this way, yes.
Also, I bet Lady Gaga's parents don't call her that. They probably call her Stephanie.
Do you think her parents still talk to her?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Her dad was like her road manager for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like a Katy Perry situation where they
Wait, what?
disown her. Her parents are like pastors and they like disowned her.
What the fuck? Fuck those people.
Yeah.
I like that they stuck to it, though, after she got super rich. They're like, nope, you're not coming to Thanksgiving, Mrs. Perry. We're not
you
gonna
kissed
call
a girl and we did not like it. So that was my stink bug story.
No. I want to hear the stink bug story, actually. I was talking about that earlier with someone, and I wanted to hear what your firsthand account was at. And Tyler, now known as Mercury Stardust, the burlesque actor. Go see him in the Midwest if you have a chance. I've seen his act; he's amazing. But totes, his name changed, so I just wanted people to know that if you see Mercury Stardust, that was Tyler on this podcast for a while. So
I miss his voice. Yeah,
I miss him too. We got to have him on again.
Yeah, because he always had a lot of good stuff to talk about.
I mean, he could probably record over Google. He's pretty tech savvy.
He hasn't moved out yet, so I don't know like what he has lined up or what his plan is. But he just got married.
Oh my God!
He did that.
Yeah, congrats to him.
Yeah.
Who would have thought he would have gotten married before me? But that's CJ.
Yeah,
he likes to. He does what he feels.
I think like by the end of the month, though.
Yeah,
have that figured out. And then maybe we can get him to like Skype in or something.
The worst thing ever I did to TJ as a friend was when he, this was years ago, broke up with his girlfriend, or she dumped him or something. I don't remember.
That bitch.
Obviously, one of the ways. Either, good thing you got out of that, or that bitch. Either one of those, because TJ's better off anyway. But it was just like, he was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay rent. Could I stay at your place? And I was like, yeah, man, if it comes to that. And then like a week later, he was like, John, I need a place to stay. And I was like, oh, no, I can't. I felt so bad because like it was like one of those things that I feel like I was like offering that no one would ever like try and like do. But obviously I didn't realize the situation he was in. I think he was all right.
You always have to expect that people are going to take you up on your offers.
I guess. I just come from like the Catholic like big family where it's just like everyone's like super fake polite, like
so I'm getting quite confused. Was Mercury ever formally known as TJ? Because it's confusing the crap out of me. You've been saying TJ the whole time.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 236.
I was going to say, that sounds like a familiar story, but I guess it happened twice.
It's no, I'm talking about Tyler.
Okay.
Sorry. We have a new TJ, so it's like a new T name, and I apologize as host. It's my bad. I'm stepping on your toes. No, I'm talking about Tyler. Yeah, I felt bad because I offered him a place, and then I was like, "Oh, you have 3 cats. I have 2 cats. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment with just me and my girlfriend, but that can't happen. Like, I can't have 5 cats." It was a really small apartment too for that. Like, it just you're a saint, Matt, for taking him on, but.
Yeah, he's like never here though, so
Fair enough. Yeah, like that wasn't going to be the situation when I was there. I think I just wanted to be there for him, and that was. I'm saying literally, it's one of the worst things I've done as a friend. So I'm saying I was in the wrong here. So if you ever listen to this,
well, there's a good chance he'll listen to this. So
well, I'm just saying, if you listen to this
hear
Mercury, I'm going to call you by your name, and everyone should. But also, like, I don't know. I hate it when people get just like pre-defensive on stuff. And I was just like, I don't know his life. Maybe some people were real in his face about it, but like, just those, if they're going to be dicks about it, they're fuck them, Like, you're great, so just keep doing what you're doing. And anyone that listens should go see him if you can. Although, there's a lot of Tyler that you see if you see his show. So be prepared. Anyway, but I want to hear about your stink bugs.
So I've got these sheets over my window.
Oh my god! And then no, I'm kidding.
So like these stink bugs would show up like 1 or 2 at a time, and they started getting more and more frequent. And I noticed they were kind of coming out of this window. So I peeled back the sheets, and it was a fucking horror show. There were like dozens and dozens of them all clumped together in like baby fist sized piles.
These are box elders, right? You're talking about?
No, stink bugs.
What color are they? Black and red?
Brownish.
Oh wow. Okay.
Here, I'll throw.
Yeah, throw me a pick.
A pick in the thing.
Because like box elders are like this time of year is the time that they come out. Like right at the end of summer, beginning of fall, and they just fucking carpet everything. They're all over the walls, which is why I'm assuming, because they look very stink bug-esque. But
I threw a giant link in the Google chat.
Let me get a bug identification here. Let me just get my eyes. Oh, those are stink fucking bugs.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah. If they're brown, they're stink bugs.
This was the window that had an air conditioning unit in it, and because of the way the window operated, having it like propped half open meant there was about an inch wide gap between the 2 window sections that were now next to each other. So there was just this whole like streak for them to go through easily, and that's where they were all coming in from. So I ended up just like going on a murder spree, and at first I really hated this sickening little crunches, but then I really grew to love it, and then I couldn't stop. And I was a little bit afraid of what would happen when I ran out of bugs, but I ended up killing over 200 of them. It was I was in a blood rage the whole time.
Oh my god, dude, you don't even know this, but I don't know if Lance ever talked about this on the podcast, maybe once, but in his old apartment, he had box elder bug infestation, and he was talking about how he had to genocide them as well. Like he actually said he would grab them he had pliers that he would grab them and squish them between, because he wanted them to fear him. Like see that he's this crushing metal hand of death.
The height of it was
but they were
and the thing is, I killed that many of them, and most of them I crushed, and I still couldn't smell anything. They're supposed to smell like coriander, according to the Wikipedia page, but I didn't smell anything.
Yeah, they don't stink.
So like the height of the bloodbath was after I'd gotten all of the ones that were in the room, and I took the air conditioning unit out of the window, and then they were all like piled up inside of the window ledge, and I just slammed the fucking thing down, and I crushed like a ton of them.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so now I still see 1 or 2 like stragglers, but nowhere near as bad as they were, so that must have been the only place they were coming in.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to hear. At least you got to the source.
Yeah.
They rubbed him
The
out.
worst thing about these guys is that they're so fucking huge that they suck at flying.
Yeah.
They'll just run straight into you, and they're
So do
loud and
cats-
balls.
Your cats take care of them at all?
The cats mostly ignore them.
That's
I think
crazy.
I think that the cats can probably smell them more than I can.
Yeah.
So maybe that keeps them away because they'll attack other bugs. Like they attack houseflies and stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, because
They don't want anything to do with these.
I mean, you get a fucking, like, gnat in my apartment, and Steve just jumps on the walls. Like, he is just, it's insane. Like, he's a spring, like, ready to murder anything, and he knocks shit over. It's like, all right, calm the fuck down, buddy. But I guess, I don't know, maybe that's what stink bugs do to keep other animals away. They have a smell that other animals hate. So,
I mean, it's at least a smell that birds are supposed to hate. So, maybe cats too.
oh my god.
That's my stink bug update.
Stink bug update of the week. Play of the game. Matt, you kill those stink bugs good, right? Do something. Play of the game.
Just show me just crushing bug after bug and then flushing the I was crushing them in toilet paper. I went through 2.5 rolls of toilet paper.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Ugh. They're gross. Bugs be gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I like bugs though. I'm not gonna lie. Do you hear that?
I don't like insects, but I do like bugs. I like, arachnids. I love spiders.
I like all sorts of bugs. I like them. I think they're really cool. Honestly, if I was able to, I would totally keep bugs like around as like pets. I totally did for a while. Did I tell people on the podcast about my flower beetle colony that I kept in my colony?
No.
Oh, so we had bought a big giant thing of rice at like the Asian market, and we didn't go through it fast enough. But like there were just tons of like rice bugs in there, like just flower beetles they are, but they're in the rice eating the rice. So it's like I thought they were cool looking, so I just kind of poured a bunch of them in a plastic container and kept a giant colony of them and poured some flour in for them to eat, and had that for about a year, just kind of looking at them, like hundreds of them crawling around in the flour. They're pretty cool. They don't really
just like this writhing mass of insects.
Yeah, basically. Well, apparently people like to keep them because they don't need water. They just need flour and air, basically. So if you want to keep them, this is why flour sifters.
They must just absorb humidity from the air.
That's actually why like rice exists as well, because or not rice. Like people wash rice. Like that's what like all these like sifting flour wash rice, because like back in the day, like they had no way to combat these bugs because they're like basically just everywhere. But nowadays, plants and whatnot can like hermetically seal bags and check them at a time. But like back in the day, it was just like just gotta strain the bugs out and throw them away, because they don't really do anything to the rice other than their eggs look exactly like rice grains. But whatever, you cook one.
That kind of grosses me out.
You'll never know though. I mean, you know what I mean? Like if you were to cook an egg, and you're like, it would just probably dissolve in the boiling water. Like you'd never know. But anyway, it's just kind of funny. So I kept a thing, but apparently people that have like small like lizards and whatnot like to keep them, because they basically take no effort to keep alive, and you can just scoop out a couple of them, throw them in with your tiny little lizard, and he'll lick them up. I don't know.
I've played with the idea of getting a tarantula just because I'm so terrified of them. I want to like desensitize myself to that fear. I haven't worked up the courage to do that yet, though.
Yeah,
I feel like
awesome.
it'll be safer. I feel like it'll be safer to get over my fear of jumping out of planes first, and then I'll approach the arachnophobia later.
Oh, I just love bugs. I could keep spiders. I used to keep spiders. So yeah, I'm a weirdo. I like bugs. Bugs. But anyway.
Bugs.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to keep spiders like around. I used to catch wolf spiders.
Did you catch bugs to feed them?
No, I would catch a wolf spider and keep it in a jar with some like leaves and stuff, and set it in there. And then I'd be like, I don't have any bugs to feed it, so I just let it go like a day later. I would usually put a cotton ball with water in there for it to drink.
I used to catch like grasshoppers and stuff, and they would usually just slowly starve to death because I didn't feed them the right stuff.
Yeah.
Like, here's some grass.
Well, wolf spiders are cool because they're pretty big. You know, like they're a little bit bigger than a quarter, like maybe a $50 size. I mean, they can get real big, like the palm of your hand size.
Nope.
But
Nope.
the ground spiders. So they're like a north tarantula. I got some cool pictures I could send you. They actually carry their.
That's not necessary.
They carry their babies on their back, like a little proud mom.
Okay.
So like they hatch the egg sac and then the babies just ride on their back.
Okay. Let's so TJ, you've been playing some Rocket League.
Just a ball of spiders crawling all over each other.
Shut up.
Oh, I'm gonna send you some pics. Anyway,
I'm not clicking on anything you send me.
But they're really good. They're really friendly to hold because they don't really bite anything bigger than them. Like they have venom, but it's like not really. Like if you were to get bit, it's like less than a bee sting. Like it might itch. But anyway, they don't bite unless you try and crush them. Anyway, I used to catch them with my hands. I'm crawl around on my hand. All right, TJ, what are you doing?
I'm just sitting here listening to the uncomfort and enjoying myself.
Oh, you're Mr. Vampire too, huh?
Not usually, but I'm starting to embrace it.
Nice to meet you. Oh, I want to hear about the games you've been playing.
So, I for some reason have been, for no reason, staying up too late playing Rocket League.
Oh God.
Yeah. So Rocket League, I tend to have a love and hate relationship with.
Oh my God, I play way too much of that.
I love the gameplay. I love the game. I love the special modes. The new Rocket League Rumble is awesome. I like playing Snow Day because it's hockey. I suck at basketball, but I'll play that anyway.
That one's hard.
But it is. It's really hard. But the big thing with Rocket League is it's the whole games are so short syndrome. Oh, just one more game. And since the games are 5 minutes long,
yeah,
you blink and 3 hours pass by.
Oh yeah.
So that's really all it takes. But the biggest hate relationship I have with it is just if you're playing ranked matches, how toxic your teammates and whatnot can be.
Are you playing on PC?
I'm playing on Xbox One.
Oh, I didn't know that you could even talk to each other.
No, quick chat.
Oh, but you can't really say much though, can you?
Sarcasm through quick chat, forcing forfeits, you can actually type in regular. Some people can talk through their headsets. You can hear that, but both teams can hear that.
Okay.
But just the anger of teammates. It's why I left PS4 Rocket League and went to Xbox One Rocket League. Well, besides the comfort of the controller for me. But oh man. But I spent some time on ranked doubles and finally got out of Prospect, which is the lowest tier of rankings. So that's good. I got ridiculously good at Snow Day, the hockey one. Yeah,
that sounds really cool. I haven't tried that one.
It's a lot of fun. I just normally don't do it because I like playing ranked. I like trying to work myself up. The feeling of slow progression, getting better, and seeing myself get better in my ranks going up. Yeah. And then having 2 bad games and going down, I'm like, what the crap? It was only 2 losses. I don't know what's going on here.
Mhm.
But no, it's been recently more of a better experience, especially because there is a new map that's playable in ranked modes. It's called the Aquadome. Basically, your entire Rocket League arena is encased in glass underwater.
Yeah, I've heard of
Which
that.
it's a little bit wider and longer than one of the regular ranked ones, which basically are, even though it's a different background, it's all the same.
Yeah.
So wider and longer, so you're gonna have to deal with your angles a little differently. But they did one thing right, and you know when you're kind of riding up on a wall and the way your camera angle is looking at you in the ball, if you end up having the camera on the opposite side of you than the ball and you're right next to the wall,
Yeah, it can be hard.
you're looking at the wall, you're not looking at yourself, and you
Yep.
don't necessarily know what's going on.
Hmm.
Aquadome actually makes the walls go transparent when that happens.
Ah.
Can they please apply that to the rest?
Yeah. That's
Um,
cool. I love how they've been supporting that game though after it came out. Like,
yeah, they've been supporting a lot of it, and now they're kind of getting into the market of even more customization than ever before, which involves chests and keys. If that
Yeah.
sounds very similar to some things that Valve does, it is. But some people are embracing it. Some people are like, it's a thing and it's whatever.
I think whatever, man. If they want to get more money, they should. It's hard to sustain these like kind of pros, because I'm gonna say it's like an esport game. You know what I mean? Like, whereas they
Yep.
can't really just like make people pay for new maps and modes, because then that splits the player base up. You know what I mean? Like, you can't.
Yep.
You couldn't have like basketball like NBA and then like, well, we're the JBA and we remove the 3-point line over here, and you can do that, and then it splits everything up, and of course it just sucks. So I
Yep.
don't know, but it is an MLG esport. It's part of the
Yes.
MLG lineup, so that's cool. I mean,
Pretty
it's fun to watch.
Pretty recently, actually, because
Yeah.
they've been doing, they've been setting up things like the Rocket League Championship
Yeah.
Series and all of that, but they didn't actually get picked up and become part of MLG until pretty recently. But
Yeah.
the way that the payment stuff works is when it comes to all the new vehicles that you can buy, that's all money that goes to the devs, and they use that to build more levels and more basically free stuff for everybody. But all of the keys for opening chests, that's all money, where part of that money goes into prize pools for large tournament events.
That is badass.
That's cool.
That's the way. That's like the way Steam does it with the Dota.
Yep.
They have the international tournament where you can buy like a book, like the book compendium for $10, and you get like rewards for owning it, and that money that you spend on compendium items goes directly into the prize pool. So it like kind of helps pay for the tournament, making it kind of, the people that watch it are directly participating and funding it, which is cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, other than that, a couple games came out today. The Gears 4 Ultimate Edition came out today, and so did Mafia 3. Both of those, I just got the codes while I was at work, so I redeemed them on my phone, and they're starting to install.
You have to hear how Mafia turns out.
I'm hearing... Well, let's get into it, because I'm hearing a bunch of mixed reviews at this point.
Okay.
There are some people talking about Mafia 3 just feeling a bit repetitive at times, which, I mean, in my mind, isn't that pretty typical of a sandbox style game? Is certain things tend to get repetitive.
Yeah.
But whatever. And the other thing is, at least at launch, and this was confirmed by Total Biscuit, the PC version is locked at 30 frames per second, but the devs say that they're going to be working on trying to unlock that. I don't know what the original thought was by locking the frame rate on that.
Yeah, I mean, when you lock to 30, it's like, why? People are going to complain about this on PC. Like, it's gonna come up, but they don't.
The only thing I could think of is they wanted to, I guess by locking at 30, that at least makes everyone's build look the same. Makes and then make it comparable to console and not deal with any sort of glitches that might come out of a heftier frame rate. I don't know. I don't actually know what's behind the whole thing, but Hangar 13's working on it. So there's that. But yeah, I need to actually set up my PS4 so I can play Mafia 3 because that's the code I was given.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, like where some of the criticism comes from. I mean, I'm just so excited because I loved Mafia 2. Like, I really hope the reviews are good, and I'll have to pick it up when it's on sale. But you want to guess what the Steam reviews are right now?
They rank out of 5, right?
No. Do you want to guess where they don't rank at all? Steam reviews. Okay. They have positive, mixed, or negative.
Mostly negative.
No, it's mixed right now. But looking at the top, it's like mostly negative here. Okay. People are basically like, it's amazing too, because PC gamers. I mean, I love us. I'm one of them, but they're just like, this is like some of these reviews. Here we go.
They're the most jaded community out there.
Oh yeah, after 1 hour gameplay, awful graphics for 2016, especially outdoors, 30 FPS lock, horrible car steering, horrible aiming, plus interesting story so far, plus great soundtrack, but I cannot risk eye cancer. This is a bad unfinished console point. Refund. Like, Jesus,
really?
Like, get the fuck off. Like, you played it for an hour, it says on your thing. Like, how much do you know? Like, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. People are just, I think most of the complaints are like, I can't believe it. Locking at 30 FPS has no place in a PC game. Clearly, the developer doesn't care for that. Like, it's just ridiculous that you would give it a negative review based on like a frame rate lock that they've said, I believe already, that they're working on fixing right now. Like, right? Didn't they say that, right, TJ? Currently patch? Oh, TJ left us.
Yes.
Fuck, really?
Hello?
Yep, go.
Okay. Sorry. That was my headset just getting untwisted. So
got it.
But no, Total Biscuit actually talked to them directly, and that was their response. So
yeah, they have an update on their on the Steam page saying that we have a patch running here at the studio that we're looking to get out that has 30 locked, 60 locked, and unlimited. So they're verifying it now, and they're going to push it out immediately. But throughout the weekend, before the game's actual release, it's going to be out. Like, seriously, people, back the fuck off. The game's supposed to not come out till Tuesday, but people that, like, pre-ordered it can get it now, and they're already complaining. Like,
Mafia's legit launched today.
Oh, it did? Well, it just says pre-order right now. Oh, no, it says buy now. Okay, so it must have literally just unlocked, because earlier when I was looking, it said pre-purchase, and now it says you can buy it. Well, anyway, nobody's played 7 hours if it just launched today. I mean, come on. Back the fuck off, people.
I don't know. Some people might have.
I mean, maybe. Maybe people don't have lives, and that's why they like to complain. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just giving you shit. All right. We got to move back to me.
To the future.
To the future, yeah. Matt.
Kids party.
I see you watched something.
I did watch something.
I watched something as well last night. Did you watch two of something or just one?
I watched 2 of something.
You bastard. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I would have watched it today.
The second episode of, we're talking about Westworld, people.
Westworld.
The second episode is good.
Okay,
and
so
you are less of a man for having not seen it yet.
So let's talk about Westworld, the 1973 film. No, I'm kidding. But so Westworld was Michael Crichton wrote and directed the science fiction movie.
Yeah, man, that guy really hated amusement parks.
Yeah, Instead of an amusement park full of dinosaurs that killed everybody, it was an amusement park with robots that malfunction and kill everybody. But anyway,
that happens on a daily.
Yeah. So the kind of Westworld thing is pretty awesome. It's a great concept. It's basically like, here is a future amusement park where you can go back in time to the Wild West and like live amongst like all these androids that look and feel just like humans. And you can live out your fantasies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hanging out in the Wild West, whoring, drinking, gambling,
Murder and
shooting, whatever you can imagine, So that's pretty badass as like a concept, and
it's just like total hedonism.
yeah, basically, or they show also in the show like there's a family friendly area too. Like they had a family in one of the parts, and it's like we can't go across the river. That's the like mature audiences zone, which I think is kind of interesting. But yeah, it's just amazing. Like an idea of the original plot. I won't spoil the TV show, but the original plot was kind of a robot like systemic like programming failure, basically like spreads around like an infectious disease and like turns all the robots into basically understanding that they're computers and
like
are like we're being used,
become sentient,
and we need to murder everyone. Yeah, so but the show on HBO is like Lauren doesn't like sci-fi stuff, right? We watched this and she was like, this is fucking amazing. And I was like, I know it is, because it is.
It's so good.
It's like sci-fi / horror / Western. Like it is just such a great mashup. And, the first episode just came out last week. Wow, that had a lot of viewers actually. 2 million for the premiere, which is more than I would have expected for a new series. But yeah.
It did pretty well.
Supposedly it's doing well, and I'm excited they're going to bring it back probably. I mean, if it did this well already. There's some really cool stuff about it, like the music in the show. Do you catch the music?
Yeah, the covers.
Yeah, it's fucking
like
awesome.
old-timey versions of like vintage rock stuff.
Yeah,
and things.
Yeah, so they had one of the like, so every morning it kind of has a little bit. The first episode kind of has like a Groundhog's Day kind of thing, where it's like this person, you're seeing like everybody wake up and go through the same storyline every day. For the visitors, it's kind of like an introduction to how kind of things work, and it kind of starts up with like an old timey player piano, but it like plays a different song. And the song, like one of them was like a piano cover of Black Hole Sun. Like it was just some awesome like old timey piano covers of. There was Paint It Black. Like there's some really cool.
Oh
stuff.
Yeah, that was so good.
So good. Like I absolutely like love the show so far, and I'm so excited for.
And the way that they like the tone whenever they're dealing with the androids, like behind the scenes, like they're always naked. And
they're always just like creepy.
It's not sexy naked. It's it's totally awesome. Like sterile, medical. Like
we're inspecting.
You see them as objects, not people, and it's just totally creepy.
Yeah, the pilot is just spectacular way to get into a series, though. Like I'm just trying to rate like how pilots work. Like how like when you watch a pilot and you're like, I don't know, I'll keep watching. This was like I need to see all of this. Like just the. I
watched the pilot this morning because I woke up pretty early.
Yeah.
Couldn't get back to sleep, so I just logged on and watched that. And then all day at work, I was like, I gotta get home and watch the second one. I gotta get home and watch the second one.
Yeah, they released it early. It was supposed to come out Sunday, but they were like, if you got HBO Go or HBO Now, you can watch it right now.
Or if you know somebody that has it.
Yeah, I need to get HBO. I mean, I have HBO Go, but I need to get HBO. If you know what I'm saying.
The home box office.
The home box office. It's not even that expensive. I think HBO Now is like $15. Just do it, man. It's good.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
Do it.
It's worth it. I mean, they got so much good stuff on there. But anyway, yeah. So, like, what are your thoughts on? Would you go to this park? Like, let's say it costs a lot. Let's say you can spend.
If I could afford it, I'd totally go.
3 days, and it's $500 a day. Like, because like if you want to like go to Disney World, tickets like per day, like $150. So let's say this is like infinitely better. $500 a day. Would you do it?
Hell yeah.
Oh God, I would save up. I would spend like 2 nights, 3 nights. What would you do? like if you were thrown in a Wild West village with basically free reign, like what would be your play? I know what I would do.
I'd like to think that I would try to go on a hero's quest.
Yeah. And they kind of go into that in that first episode. They're like, everyone walks off the train and there's like a sheriff who's like, boy, we got these outlaws out here. We're really looking for someone to come help us take them out, and you're just like, oh shit, like, would that be me? Be like, all right, let's do this shit. They kind of show that, but I think I know what I would do.
The temptation to just like indulge all of your darkest fantasies, just like start murdering townsfolk and stuff, like I'm afraid I would like succumb to that urge eventually.
Oh no,
because it's like you're living in a dream world where there's no consequences to anything that you do. So,
but that's like the fucked up thing too when you think, because they talk about this a little bit in that first episode, that they're like, the more real we make these like android hosts, they call them, like the more fucked up it is that people do this stuff. Like the more they seem human, like the less indistinguishable they are from human, the more horrific the acts are, because it's like, these are like basically like real people. Like they feel like it, and you're able to murder them or rape them or whatever. And it's like, yeah. You know what I would do though?
What would you do?
Rob the bank. I would be a fucking bandit.
Oh man.
Are you kidding me?
That
I
would
would
be
immediately
sweet.
join this. Like that, the first episode, the end scene. Just such a good like shootout scene, as well as being really interesting. I mean, it's just awesome, and like the creep factor of like, you kind of start seeing some of the robots kind of doing some weird stuff, and it's just so like it's like Uncanny Valley, like where you see these people are playing robots just do these weird things. Where it just like, you think they don't, like they're so close to being human but aren't, and you just are like, ew, it makes your skin crawl, Like,
and then they'll go from that to like freezing, and like a fly will crawl across their eyeball, and they won't.
Because they don't flick a fly off because they don't even notice it, because they're robots.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, man. So that's highly recommend this show.
Good show.
Holy cow. Everyone's great in it. I'm excited to see. What's his name back on TV? James Marsden. Like he's I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff, but I like that guy. The Hemsworth brother that nobody wanted is in this.
The one that's not Thor.
Yes, well, the one that's not Thor or the guy from the Hunger Games. Because there's Liam Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth, and this is the oldest, Luke Hemsworth, who did a lot of British TV, or Australian TV.
He's even got a boring name.
Yeah, Chris. Oh, wait. Oh, no, yeah. So Chris Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth, and Luke Hemsworth. And he, he's just done a lot of TV just in Australia, but I guess he gets a chance here. He plays like the security guy. Yeah. He's like, I don't believe...
Ed Harris is fucking terrifying.
Oh, my. I don't know what Ed Harris is. I don't want to know what Ed Harris is.
I have no idea what he's doing.
He's called the Man in Black. And he is just like, I'm going to do some fucked up shit to some robots.
He's like doing his own game.
Just a guy who
he's a guest.
Yeah.
He's been going there for 30 years. He's got like this whole meta game that he's going to try.
It says right here, mysterious guest. Yeah.
But yeah, he's looking for something, and I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, there's actually
what's gonna end up happening.
Yeah, there's a pretty cool moment like where it's just like, so like the guys can't kill you. You know what I mean? Like they can't attack you, can't harm you in any way. So like you could just go up to like this guy who's like being the sheriff and be like, let's duel, and then you just always will win because they can't shoot you. So it's kind of badass in that way. That like, and so you can fuck with the robots that way. Be like, shoot me. And, of course, you get shot, but nothing happens. Do they explain how the guns work in the game? Because they don't really go deep into explaining stuff, which I like. But they're like, I got to assume it's like rubber bullets or something. Or
I'm not
lasers.
sure. They haven't.
Because it looked like when when Ed Harris was getting shot in that first episode, it looked like he was getting hit by something, like dust would poof, but he didn't like get hurt. So maybe that's it. Like it's like not even like a rubber bullet, but it's like you can feel like a thing hit you in the chest, like just a poof. You know, and you're like, oh, I got hit, but you don't actually get hurt. Yeah,
but then it like sets when it hits one of the robots, it sets off a squib or something. And
yeah, basically,
blows a hole in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they go back downstairs at night to get fixed up for the next day.
Mm-hmm. And then
TJ,
they get their memories wiped, or do they?
Or do they? Did you have thoughts, TJ? Sorry, it sounded like you're trying to.
No. My audio cord was acting up. So,
okay.
But awesome. I need to start watching things again.
Yeah.
Yes. Specifically this thing.
Michael Crichton, man. Why did he have to die? He was so young.
I'm sorry I killed him.
I really like seeing Beatty in this, though.
Yeah. He was one of my favorite writers. Wait, who?
He wrote a lot of stuff. Oh, go ahead.
Beatty from the Hunger Games?
Yeah, he's like one of the main characters. Yeah, I like that actor a lot. Yeah. So, but yeah, Michael Crichton was 66 when he died in 2008. So,
yeah, he wrote a lot of stuff that's become basically our video literature of our day.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Jurassic Park is like just such a cultural touchstone. Like, what other great books did he write? I mean, he wrote
Andromeda
Strain. Oh, here we go. Let's look at these books. Congo, which I really liked as a kid. The book's really good. The movie is...
I didn't know he wrote that.
The movie is amazing. Have you seen Congo?
I love that movie.
The movie is amazing for what's his name? Well, first off, it's one of the few movies that has Ernie Hudson in it. For God's sakes. Like, nobody has Ernie Hudson.
It's been so long since I've seen that. I didn't know he was in that.
But Tim Curry's fucking character, his like Russian accent guy, is so good. Like, his Russian accent's so ridiculous. I like that movie, though. It's dumb. It's so bad, but it made a bunch of money, I guess. People saw it, but it's so dumb, but I love it. But yeah, you can't beat Jurassic Park.
Congo is always... married in my mind with Anaconda, because I think that those both came out around the same time, and they're both kind of that like cheesy level of monster movie. And hey, Congo's on Netflix, so I might watch that tonight.
Well, I mean, like, Timeline's a really good book. The movie is not good at all. I like that book, though. It kind of deals with like string theory, time travel, and no, the book is great. I read the book. I read a lot of his books, and the movies aren't always going to be amazing. But he co-wrote Twister. That helps.
Jeez, he's another one of those guys like Stephen King, where like even before the book's finished, he already has the movie rights sold. Like they were just lining up for that stuff. But
he created one of John Rowe's favorite shows, ER, because he was a medical doctor. That's what he started. He went to Harvard. So I don't know. We lost him too early, but he was one of my favorite direct tours. But yeah, Prey. You know Prey, right?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Prey is a thing that they need to make into a movie that hasn't been made. It is. Let me just say this. How about what do you think about nanorobots?
I think it has been made into a movie.
No, film rights were purchased. What do you think about nanorobots that go rogue? And
we can't do nothing about it.
Terrifying.
And swarm people. Like, for instance, like they have a complex, and the nanorobots get out and they suffocate a rabbit by blocking its airways. And yeah, it just kind of
that.
Goes on.
I'm not in favor of suffocating rabbits.
But anyway, yeah, and then was State of Fear. State of Fear was about eco-terrorists. They wanted to stop global warming, so they like killed a bunch of. or they want to like cause like a extinction of humans. Anyway, he was kind of a climate science denier guy, a little bit.
Yeah, there was that.
It's best not to think about that too much. Let's not get into that. But
Here's the thing about really smart people. They're good at convincing themselves to believe really dumb ideas sometimes.
yeah, because they're like, well, I'm really smart.
To, like, talk themselves into it.
Exactly. I'm really smart. I've been so right about all of these things. I believe in this. I've got to be right, right? I can't be wrong. To be fair, you know, like Bill Nye the Science Guy walked back his anti-GMO stuff. He was like, well, you know, maybe not anti-GMOs, maybe anti-bad things, not just a blanket thing. Like I've, you know what I mean? It's kind of like just the science has come in more, you know, let's reassess it. If you're able to do that, that's what a smart person does, is like, let me get the new evidence and make sure that the position I have still works and you're able to change. That's important in science, you know, because you have to live on the evidence. Anyway.
That's the exact opposite of politics.
That's true.
In science, the whole idea is, you know, changing your mind because of evidence is always a sign of being a strong, rational person. But in politics, changing your mind for any reason means that you're weak and flip-floppy.
Yep. I just want to say this.
That's why politics and science are best friends.
I want to say this. I don't want to get political, but Scientific American recently put out their candidates' presidential science review, like their grading by all of the like contributors and people that publish that magazine. They basically sent out 20 questions about science issues to the candidates, and the candidates sent back their answers out of 100. Hillary Clinton got 66, so this was very rough for everybody. Jill Stein was like at 45. Gary Johnson was somewhere in the 30s, and Mr. Trump had 15 points out of 100. My favorite one was question about ocean health issues, about ocean acidification and all sorts of like rising sea levels and all that. Here was their response on why they gave Trump the score they gave him. Trump does not mention the ocean, fish, fisheries, coral reefs, or coastlines in his answer. 0 out of 5, which I thought was the most.
They send this question out.
They sent a questionnaire out. He wrote answers and sent them back. Yes, this wasn't an interview or anything. They were like, "Here's a question. Give us your answer on it." And then his paragraph answer, he did not mention the ocean, fish, fisheries, coral reefs, or coastlines. It's like, okay, you know, like, whatever, man. You want to not talk about the question. I just thought it was funny. It's like he did not mention anything about oceans in his answer about what do you think about the oceans. Anyway, I guess let's do it. We're in Science Corner, basically.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
This is the natural transition. Can you edit that to say John Rowe, the Science Guy? Let me give you the sting. All right, I want to say it. John Rowe. All right, clip that in. I'll send a clip out of that for you, so you can put
all right.
John Rowe.
It'll
the
be
Science Guy.
The Science Guy.
Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, so anyway, John. See if you can line that up. Trial.
I think I can work something out.
Okay.
Trial.
So, yes, thank you. Elon Musk had one of those. Remember the Hyperloop? He was like, "Somebody build that. It's my idea, but build it because it's the future." He had a big press conference about Mars and colonizing Mars, and his plans. This wasn't just like a hey, someone should plan this out. This is preliminary plans, but the idea was they want to send. Okay, so there's some pretty awesome geeky shit here first. He wants to name the spaceship the Heart of Gold, the first one. Do you get that reference? Anyone? No?
Nope.
No? TJ?
What?
Heart of Gold.
Yeah, what? So, sorry, I just spaced out.
Do you get the reference for the first Mars spaceship that Elon Musk is going to have? Heart of Gold.
Heart of Gold.
Yes.
Smart,
nerdy listeners will get this, but I got it immediately because that's the name of the spacecraft in Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I don't
The
know
Heart
that.
of Gold. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, shit. I just unplugged my headphones. 1 sec.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God. All right, I'm back. Part of having a tearaway headphone cord is sometimes when you turn your head and you have your foot on the cord, it pops out.
It tears away.
Which is good, because it's better than pulling the actual cord out. But, okay, so...
Tearaway for PlayStation Vita.
Yep, tear away my pants. I have tearaway pants on right now, but we're saving that for the video game stream afterwards.
Okay.
The plan is to send 100 people per trip, eventually ramping up to hopefully 200 people per flight. The way that they have like the plans, and now I want to stress, these aren't like, oh, if we get some future technology. These are like we could, if we had the money, have the technology to do this transport. The trip could take as little as 80 days or as many as 150, depending on the year, because the Moon and Earth have, the Mars and Earth have certain years where they're closer to each other than others, and that's usually when the NASA will send a Mars trip because it's just cheaper to send it there. And he's saying with future technology, we should be able to get the trip days down to 30, which is insane. So they have like a ship design. It's a new rocket, which is called what's the rocket called? The booster. Where's the booster?
Boosty McBoost face.
Yeah, they actually had the internet vote on it. Fuck! Give me a minute. The articles that I linked to talk about this don't have as many details as I would like, because this happened like 2 weeks ago, and I forgot to talk about it because Adam was here. So let me just search. Elon Musk Mars. Is this thing even legal? Here we go. That's so good. Here's the robot. It is it's just called the Mars vehicle now, I'm sure. But anyway, so that's why it's not named. But it is important to know that. So if you look at the different boosters that they've used to get to space, what do we use now? The Falcon 9 gets used a lot to send small stuff up. If you look at the Falcon Heavy, which is the biggest rocket we use today to have the biggest payload, there's also the Delta IV Heavy. The Japanese have a spaceship, the Soyuz, the new one, could do that. The Mars vehicle performance, which is payload in pound. Was this in pounds? Payload to, I don't know what the fuck. I'm trying to read a screenshot of a slide. God damn it. Payload. Anyway. Oh, fuck. I can't read the text. There's numbers here and they get bigger. But it says, wait, let me just zoom in. Can I zoom in? Payload to Leo kilograms. I don't understand this. This is the theoretical power of the spaceship. How about that? It's the amount of payload that it can lift. The Saturn V, if you remember the Saturn V, which is not what we use anymore, but that was the original space missions, had 135,000 theoretical payload to kilograms or whatever. Like the amount of kilograms it could carry, I think is what this means.
Is that the one? Was that the Apollo missions, or is that with the shuttle?
Don't know if that was the Apollo missions. The Saturn V was what rocket was the Saturn V? Now defunct Saturn V. When did the Saturn V retire? That's the big rocket that you think of when you think of Kennedy Space Center. Is that Apollo missions? Is that the original moon missions, the Apollo missions? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so this was the Apollo moon mission rocket. Like the original giant, like cylindrical, black and white, tall rocket taking people to space.
Sweet-ass multi-stage rocket.
And that rocket's more powerful than the rocket they use now, of course, because the payload's so much lighter now. We're able to not set up big steel chunks. We have, alloys and whatnot. The Mars vehicle, the Center 5, 135,000 kilogram payload. Mars vehicle, 550,000. It will be the largest rocket ever built, basically. So they're talking about that. And I believe the idea is just like with, of course, Elon's SpaceX company. The plan is to have that booster land back on Earth for refueling and reuse. As you can see, they've gone through lots of testing, sending their own rockets up to space, shooting the Falcon, which is their rocket they have, and they're able to land a booster now successfully, which is the Falcon 9, which is pretty amazing. And so the thought is that that's going to move up, and they'll be able to basically get this big payload up into space, and then that heavy payload will be able to take people and equipment and everything all the way to that. So, I mean, it's bigger than the biggest rocket ever made.
He's saying it would be about $100,000 per ticket, which is a lot. But like, not what's probably going to end up happening is big companies are going to be sending people and they'll have large companies will have their Mars outpost where they go run space experiments there, and it'll end up being like a tech center like Silicon Valley or something.
So the plan is basically they want to send people to Mars. Like in the next 5 years, they want to send the initial lander to Mars to start dropping off materials, basically. Like just to see if they can get there, practice some of the landing that they have planned, of course, because this is way heavier than anything that's ever landed on Mars, which has much, much more gravity than the moon. So they got to figure that out. But basically, they're like, we're going to have plans for the trip. There'll be movies, games, restaurant, like all sorts of stuff. It wants to be a real thing. But anyway, they're talking about he's not talking about, I want to make Mars like a destination for tourism. I want Mars to be humans becoming a multi-planet species. He wants, we're going to have 20 to 50 Mars trips, over that, 40 to 100 years, we'll be able to have a self-sustaining colonization with, maybe even 1 million people on Mars someday. And that's his plan. He just wants us to get there, and then there's lots of issues with this, and I'll get into that.
There's going to be a lot of weird legal stuff.
Yeah. Gizmodo had an article that said, Elon Musk says, come die for me. Because, you know what I mean? It's a possibility,
Well, even in terms of owning property on Mars, I think by default now it's covered by maritime law, but it's just going to be wherever you stake up an outpost, you own that land now.
Do you need a passport to go to Mars?
Boy, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing.
This is good. There's the weird bureaucracy things that are going to have to be figured out. It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Separate from all of this, I think the most important thing to bring up is Elon Musk. I'm sure there are 3 of us, if not more of us, here on the Born in the 80s podcast that would love to be donated seats on your flight.
Yeah.
Yes. And Elon, if you want to come on for an interview or something, I know you're a big listener, so just hit us up at bitecast@gmail.com.
I would like to say this. I don't want to go to Mars.
What?
I'm going to go. I want to die on Mars, John.
All right, Matt, how about this? I don't want to go to Mars. unless all of us born in the 80s go to Mars.
I'm going. Yeah.
Like, if we can all go together, I'll go.
TJ's not allowed to bring his family, though.
No, it's fine.
Because it's just too many people. Okay, good.
Can I bring Lauren?
No. Well, I don't know.
She's been on the show.
Oh, that's true.
Okay,
she has been recorded on the show.
And I'm going to bring... Cats are allowed.
I'm bringing my cats, of course. We need to have cats to keep us sane. I mean,
oh, crap.
Yeah, cats in space.
If you're allergic, we have a problem.
I could deal, but, it's not pleasant.
Oh, no. But he's saying some crazy
separate
shit.
bubble for you to live in.
Okay.
Like, he's literally saying by 2060, there could be 1 million people on Mars. Like, we have the technology. It's just going to cost a fuck ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not impossible. I mean, Mars, there's gravity. There's enough of an atmosphere to at least give some sort of radiation shielding. Like, we have the technology, to get there in less than 3 months. If the year is right, 3 to 5 months a trip. Like, that's not. I mean, when you think about when people would travel to the New World from Europe, I mean, that was months on a boat. And we can do that months, on a ship to Mars. And
the cool thing about him making all these claims is, like, now there's this giant, like, space dick measuring contest where Jeff Bezos is like, look at our giant rockets, and Boeing's like, no, we're gonna go to Mars first. So it's like igniting a competition again.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, it's just, it's pretty crazy. Like, this plan. Like, there's so much to go over. I mean, he is right in the fact that it is not ridiculous to think we could have people on Mars. Like, and it's not like the moon. Like, it is much more livable. Like, the Earth, the Mars, like, makeup isn't too far off from what we have. Like, given a proper atmosphere, through terraforming, it would not be too far from Earth. We have the technology to make it habitable. Maybe if not, breathable, but livable for people. So that's it. He's saying this is the first step. He's saying I want people to be able to say we have someplace to go if something happens to Earth. Like, he wants the human species to be able to survive beyond one planet, if a natural disaster were to happen. I think it's pretty cool.
If nothing else, in like 12 billion years or something, the sun's going to expand and swallow Earth, so we'll have to find a new place to live by then.
Yeah. It's just too expensive. Like, that's literally it right now. I mean, we have the ability to do it, but he went into in his conference about how if you look at traditional methods right now, like, we could go right now with what we have. 10 billion a person is what it would cost. That's just impossible. But with some funding and some money saving and some building and whatnot, it could be as cheap as 200,000, 100,000 per person if we can get there. Like, I'm excited because someone's talking about it, not in the fact of, man, that'd be great, but hey, man, we could do this if we put our minds and money to it. So, and he said he plans on spending some of his own money to get this done. So I'm excited. It's awesome. Space is cool, boys.
Space is cool, and I want to go to there.
Yeah, I would like to go to space. If not Mars, at least do the space trip, Like, do a couple orbits.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that thing. What is this? Elon Musk's secret Pentagon visit was about a flying metal suit. This was earlier in the summer. So basically, he's building an Iron Man.
Is it Iron Man?
What is going on here?
He's doing exoskeletons. Just Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Fuck, it's going to totally happen. Like, that's not far off. Like,
I know.
It's
Man, I'm really
Yeah.
glad that he seems to be on the good side.
I just want to say this. It is
If he
like
doesn't
possible
go villain.
right now that if you were to become someone who was paralyzed from the waist down, like 10 years from now, it's not infeasible that you'd be able to walk by robots,
Yeah,
like legs strapped to your legs, like not impossible.
They've been doing exoskeleton. I think if you have like a certain amount of mobility, then you can. There's like experimental systems that'll work for you.
The computer can guess the rest, basically. Like if you can do a little motion, like it's pretty awesome where that's going. I mean, that's the singularity, baby. We're getting there. Let's move faster, though, because my body is getting old. I pull the muscle by turning sideways, so that's.
We got to get to the point where robot parts are as good as human parts, and then just rocket right past that to the upgrades.
All right,
I
now
want to be able to do stuff that's better than what.
Yeah, I need a cookie clicker up.
What do you need?
C is for cookie. That's good enough for me.
I ascended for the second time this morning. At the peak, I was pulling down 50 trillion cookies per second.
Nice.
Total cookies baked all time, 28 quintillion.
Let's see where that is compared to mine. Total cookies baked all time, 2.7 sextillion for me.
And this run started 4 hours ago, and I'm already up to 1.1 billion cookies per second, and I've made 7.8 trillion cookies. So
I told you it starts
rocking.
moving.
I have like 300% prestige at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what's my prestige at.
I'm gonna try and get a full-grown dragon this time around because I got most of the way there, but then things were just getting too slow.
My prestige is 1400, and I still haven't done the full dragon. Or I've done the full dragon, but there's a step beyond that I haven't done. Anyway, Matt, you still got cookies to click. I don't like to run it in my background because I've started. Do you turn your computer off?
If you go into options, there's the defocus will make it use a lot less resources when it's not like the selected window.
Yeah, I just want to say this: like, do you guys leave your computers on, or do you have a sleep, or do you just turn them off when you're not using them?
I just leave mine on. It'll go to sleep eventually, I think.
TJ?
I haven't clicked cookies in about a month.
But do you leave your computer on, or do you turn it off when you're not using it?
Oh, my computer's like almost always on, like all the time. Although I am having issues.
Oh boy!
All right. So my Windows 10 experience has gone weird, and actually this started after I installed Battlefield 1942, and I don't know if that's what's causing it.
Oh shit!
If my computer goes into screensaver for too long, like more than 30 minutes of nothing going on, when I come out of screensaver, it immediately goes to where I can't see my desktop, but I can see my mouse cursor. And
it's the black screen. That's a known Windows 10 bug.
I have it green sometimes because that's my theme color. And then sometimes it's black, but sometimes it's green. And if I Alt-Control-Delete out of it, it then pulls up the Alt-Control-Delete menu. I can cancel out of that and then right back into where I slept off.
I had that issue as well on my laptop. It must be with older hardware it does that because my big main computer hasn't done that. And I had all those blue screen of deaths.
Yep.
I thought I had hardware failures, and I left this computer on for 2 days, and it was still running. So clearly, it was a Windows issue that I fixed by rolling back and reinstalling Windows, and then installing the latest updates, and it now hasn't crashed. Although I do have the issue if I tell it to shut down, Windows turns off, but my computer doesn't turn off. It just stays powered on, but with no Windows.
Oh, weird.
So then I just hit the power button and it just immediately turns off. And then it tells me a Windows shut down unexpectedly every time I log in. It's like, well, no, it didn't. I hit shut down.
I expected that.
I wonder if it just shuts the screen off before it actually is shut down. But like I left it for an hour, and the screen was still blank, like off, like no signal. And Windows is, I don't know. It's weird. Windows 10's been a little buggy for my tastes. It was good for a while, but like this anniversary update really kind of fucking borked shit. I wonder if my B-Sods had to do with that.
Yeah.
Like if I updated drivers to deal with the anniversary update, but then I didn't get the anniversary update first. I don't know. I don't want to talk about this because I hate it. I'm so tired. Well, but what's the specific? Any other specific issues you're having, TJ? I'm done talking about mine.
Wait, what?
Did you have anything else specific? I'm sorry. I'm done talking about my issues. You're good?
In terms of my computer stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's about it.
Yeah. So I've just kind of started just turning it off, and then because it takes with this, I have an SSD. I mean, it takes like 20 seconds to boot up. Like it's not like oftentimes I'll boot it up and I'm like, well, I guess I can't do anything. I'm gonna look at my phone, and by the time I open like Twitter, it's already like ready for me to log in.
All right.
I'm like,
I don't know if I brought this up in the podcast before, and I'm gonna ask both of you guys because I want to know if you guys have the similar issues.
Okay.
Why does YouTube run better not in Chrome? Especially Edge. It runs really well in Edge.
Huh, I don't have that problem.
Like I will default to to HD streaming on YouTube at least 720 on Edge, but on Chrome 360p. Usually defaults.
So I had the issue
That's weird.
with that Chrome uses up a lot more internet than other. It's like a lot heavier because it's like doing predictive stuff. You know what I mean? Like Chrome does some crazy shit. Like you have like the 6 web pages you go to the most. Like it preloads those basically. Like, so
Really?
if you were to click, yeah, man, it does some crazy preloading stuff, which is why it's so fast. But if you have an older computer that you need that bandwidth, it sometimes is like, all right, you're using up a lot to be Chrome, and it could be a lot. It's gotten better, but yeah, like for instance, on my 2008 old computer I had to go back to for a hot second, I like to just switch to Firefox bare bones, and use that.
Yeah.
Or like Opera.
Before I upgraded, I was still on an old Dell. I just had to switch to Firefox because Chrome was eating up too much memory.
Yeah, it really eats that memory up. Chrome does. That's it, really.
Yeah.
So. Thank you, TJ, for your update on computers.
Computer gate.
So we talked about Westworld. We talked about Science Corner. Oh God, we got more news. Fucking A. I don't even know how much time. I don't even know how much time we got left here. Just a little bit.
Yeah, Mini Famicom can wait because it's not like any of us are getting it right away.
No, I don't. I want one though.
I just want the NES, except for the fact that Mini Famicom you get Final Fantasy 3.
I know the Mini Famicom. Well, let's talk about it.
Okay,
We're talking about it. It won't take that long. So we talked about the Mini NES or whatever. They're making a Mini Famicom for Japan, but that should work directly with TVs here, right?
It's just HDMI. Power cord's not included. You have to buy that separately.
Okay, but Japan is NTSC, just like the US, so it should work directly. There's a lot of crazy games on here. It's got a lot of stuff that the US version has. Super Contra, Super Mario Brothers 2, 1, 2, and 3, Legend of Zelda. It has Yar Kung Fu, which I don't think that the US one had. Did the US one have River City Ransom?
I don't think so, and that game's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. Mario Open Golf, I don't think that the US one had.
No.
Final Fantasy 3 on here instead of 2, or 1.
Instead of 1, yeah.
Which is 3 is an infinitely better game. Most of it's the same though. You have your Ghost of Gob. I don't think, did the US have one Gradius? Yeah, I think it did.
I don't know if we got a Gradius.
Okay. Atlantis no Nazo, which was a huge game in Japan that never came over here. That's just the is that Sunsoft? Yeah, Sunsoft, like it's an adventure game, like a platformer.
Yeah, we're not getting Punch, or they're not getting Punch.
They're not getting Punch out.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised they're not getting Kid Icarus.
Atlantis no Nazo is a famously difficult like platformer game. It's like an Indiana Jones kind of thing.
Mhm.
Oh, TJ,
What?
we're going to talk about this. One of my favorite shows in Japan. I'm sure you've seen it. Game Center CX.
No, I've never seen that.
You've never heard of Game Center CX?
I've never heard of Game Center CX.
Are
What
you
is this?
serious?
I'm 100% serious.
Oh,
My
TJ,
my geek powers are weak.
TJ, I've changed your life right now. I've
Yes,
changed.
what is this?
Oh my God. Okay, let's just go into Game Center CX. So anyway,
Okay.
It's the same price in Japan as in the US, around $60 US. It's just it looks cool because that's a little mini Famicom. Game Center CX, known as Retro Game Master in other regions, Kotaku actually, I think, not subsidized, but they paid for a season to get translated. So it's a Japanese game gaming show, where the game master, Shinya Arino, who's a comedian, basically, but he's way into video games.
Okay.
And he's basically like, give me a really fucking hard Famicom game or Super Famicom game or whatever. Was it the Genesis in Japan, the Sega?
Mega Drive?
Yeah, the Mega Drive. Give me a hard ass fucking or PC Gen game, and I will beat it in one day. And it's just a fucking slog. Like, it is just like, I'm gonna play this super hard game, and it's just well put together. It's well edited. I mean, this is like the Let's Play came from this. I mean, we're talking about this show started back in 2003.
I may have heard of this, but I've not really watched a lot of it.
I need to buy the DVD box sets though, because I believe they have the American. But it was on Fuji TV. It's still airing. The guy is really funny. Like, it translates even through the language because he's very like, Shinya Arino-san, as he's called, is very expressive and boyish, and you just like him. And when the game crushes him, you're like, oh, and like he'll get his assistant director to come in, who's like this 20-year-old guy, and he's this like middle-aged comedian guy. And he's like, I gotta have the young kids come in here and beat these games for me, and they it's just good. Like, so I believe he talks about basically there's kind of running stuff between the seasons. Like, he calls himself, like, so let's see here. He had a position for himself. So like when he has a jumpsuit he wears, he goes into this room, there's like snacks that like fans sent in and stuff, and he reads their letters and stuff for him to like get to this game. So he named himself Season 1 Senior Staff, and he said, depending on how well I'm playing these games, I've got to demote me or promote myself in this company because it's not fair. He's been doing well, so he calls himself Acting Chief. And then he cleared every game in the third season. The whole third season, beat every game. So I'm Chief. I'm the Kacho. Season 4, he could not beat Ultraman and ActRaiser, so he had to demote himself to Acting Chief. And then again in ActRaiser, he couldn't beat the second final boss, so he had to demote himself to Senior Staff. It's just kind of funny. Like, he really like plays with like the whole like I'm trying to describe. It's kind of like how Conan O'Brien is with his staff. Like, he'll bring in his directors and just like make fun of them, but they'll like do stuff for him, that he can't do himself because he's kind of clueless a little bit. But it's great. I mean, you played the Game Center, a Retro Game Master DS game, right? TJ?
No, yeah.
That was a good robot answer. Sorry, what?
Okay. No, I've not played it.
Okay, so the DS game called Retro Game Master is one of my favorite games. God, I love it. It is a game where you basically you're a child, and you get like fake Nintendo games basically, and then like eventually fake Super Nintendo games. But in the like game world, to like get the next games to unlock, you have to like move the time progression forward by beating parts of these old games. So it's like you're a little kid trying to beat a game. And how did you beat games when you were a kid? Like, how could you get through them?
Just running straight head first into that brick wall until it broke.
Or
keep playing until you memorize exact patterns.
Or you could subscribe to a video game magazine to give you tips and tricks. So actually in the game, there are fake in-game magazines that you subscribe to that have fake articles talking about games that are upcoming. Like, there's a lot of actually games press from back in the mid-2000s, like a little bit before this game came out. They actually like lent their likenesses and like did a little writing for the game. So they like write articles in these fake magazines about like, oh, this game's great. I give it like a 5 out of 5. You know, I love how it's better than the prequel and like all this stuff. It kind of builds this like fake game world where you kind of feel like you're transported back into like the pre-internet days where you're just like, oh, look at that. Like I can get a code now. They had a code for this to give me like 20 lives. So now I can, beat the next objective because your game will give you like quests to do in all of the games you have in your library. So, but yeah, that's one of my favorite DS games. And there's a second one that came out in Japan that was never translated. By is it Kemco? Who was it? Who's the company that does all the Japanese games? Xseed Entertainment. So yeah, it's a great show though. They're on 20 seasons right now, I think. So, yay! I would highly recommend checking out some of the translated versions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god!
Different ones though.
Yeah, whatever that was. If you actually go to, I'll put a link up to this because. So I think Kotaku in the U.S. sponsored. Where is this? I thought Kotaku sponsored the release of a bunch of them in America. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get this. Anyway. Where can you watch more Retro Game Master? I'll just put a link to this. Here it is. Oh, wait, did they stop hosting them? Did they have just limited rights? Sorry. Oh, no, it's all on here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to have a link here. Was it just Kotaku? Sorry. Okay, so basically, here's what they did. All right, I'm ready. They Kotaku basically paid voiceover people to kind of do the narrator and to basically dub over the Japanese narrator with an English translation and then add subtitles in professionally basically. And they did 12 episodes. So that is the best place to get a start. And it's not like season by season, whatever. This is just like kind of a greatest hits. Like here's some really good ones. So I'm going to throw that on. But like the thing that's so great about these is that he is bad at video games. And you watch him spend a day, and it doesn't like the whole thing. The episodes are like an hour. And you just kind of see him get better and better, You just kind of feel that joy when he's able to he's getting killed in the first world over and over again, like an old game. And then, later in the hour, he's just, he blows by. He's like, I died. I'll just, spend 10 minutes getting through those first levels. I got him down. It's just, yeah, I love me some Game Center CX. So I thought you'd have heard of this, TJ, because you're into the Japanese gaming a little bit more than most. So, yeah. So I think, is it possible that Crunchyroll has it too?
Something's happening.
Oh my god!
My headset's starting to die.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
How could you die to us? Anyway, so Kotaku has a couple articles on how you can find it, basically.
Okay.
I believe
I'll have to look it up.
There's like an archive.org where they have like fan subs, basically. I know a lot of people actually just watch them in Japanese because they're like, you get it. He's playing a game and dying and, yelling Japanese, probably derogatory words, like it's fun. So yeah, I'll just put some links up for that if people are interested, but it's real fun. I love that show. Leads me to believe I need to like get some more. I feel like there's English versions, but the episodes I linked, the Kotaku sponsored ones, there's 12 really professionally done with like good voiceover, like narrator that really adds the drama, so.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's like your classic video games, like Let's Play. Like when shit gets real, they have like triumphant music or like tense music that plays, and like it's you can kind of see. Sorry, Matt.
Yes?
Saying I cut you off.
Oh no, I don't think I was saying anything.
All right.
Hey, we got a live chatter.
Oh God.
Oh God, I have to get back to the
what
link.
channel is this? Hey, this is Aaron.
Oh, it's fine. Aaron ZVC just says, "Hey, you guys."
So now we've all said hey back.
No, yeah, jumped on it.
Hey, what's going on?
Love us, please.
No, but anyway, yeah. So we don't got too much left in the episode here.
Are we doing a
Red-
koozie corner?
Mine's just kinda
No,
whatever.
Adam's not here, and as this part of the koozie was like my first nascent months as Adam becoming my friend, I need to have him around when I talk about it. So the next time Adam's on, we can koozie it. Maybe I can do one. Let me just make sure that the next koozie entry doesn't involve Adam in any way. No, I went to Adam's house and hung out. I have a story about it in here, so we'll save that for when Adam's back on. So that can get people to be mad that Adam's not here because
Yeah, Adam.
Adam was sick tonight. Do we want to get into?
Hold on.
Smoke weed every day.
Okay,
Thank
there.
you.
Heyo.
Do we
See, in
want to?
comedy, timing is everything.
Do we want to get into the Palmer Luckey stuff?
Did we talk about that, or did I just talk about that in real life?
We did not.
You probably talked about it in real life.
Oh, we didn't talk about this.
I'm kind of sick of it.
I'm just sad. Palmer Luckey, man. Who would have thought 24-year-old homeschooled multimillionaire would have dumb and shitty opinions?
Yeah.
I want to say this. Let's just go into it. Palmer Luckey, founder of Oculus. It turns out Daily Beast was like, hey, this guy seems like another guy we know, a guy who posts on Reddit in a pro-Trump Reddit, asking for people to join a political organization called Nimble America, a self-described social welfare 501(c) nonprofit in support of the Republican nominee. The pseudonym was called Nimble Rich Man, basically. Nimble America says it's dedicated to proving that, quote, shit posting is powerful and meme magic is real, according to the company's introductory statement. They put a billboard in Pittsburgh with Hillary Clinton's face saying, too big to jail, paid for by Nimble America. So basically, Nimble America was like an organization that's saying, let's take the shit that's on the deepest, dankest recesses of 4chan
Yeah.
and let's make that public discourse. Let's fund that. Let's take the garbage,
Let's make more of that.
meme stuff and do that. He said he wants to run a campaign with more billboards. He said, I got plenty of money. Money's not my issue. It sounds like this. And people kind of dug deeper. You find out Luckey met. So before being directly involved in the process of being Nimble Rich Man for Nimble America, like soliciting donations from people on Reddit, like the Donald Reddit,
Yep.
he met the man who would serve as the liaison and provide legitimacy to a Reddit audience without having to reveal his own identity. It's like, hey, this guy backs me. Breitbart tech editor and Trump booster Milo Yiannopoulos, who you may know as someone who was permanently banned from Twitter for harassing the actress Leslie Jones and sending abusive messages to her, basically being very racist. But, that's good. So he got banned from Twitter for being a douchebag. But that guy, I want to be with this guy, huh?
This is like the worst Super Friends team ever.
I mean, like it's just kind of like he's the money man basically behind this, and they raised like nothing, like $11,000 or something, just on like just the little donations. But it says they spent $9,300 on Facebook ads, billboards, website operations, like. And the worst part about this is Luckey basically was like, oh, that's not me. And then like the guy from Daily Beast posted emails where he literally says, oh, yes, that's me. Like, it's just like you literally lied to everyone's faces here when you said, oh, that's not me. I mean, it is just fucking absolute bullshit. And I've heard a lot of people say this, whatever. I'm obviously not a Trumper, but wherever you are in the political spectrum, if you want to spend money to get your candidate elected, fine. But like forming an organization just to post shitty memes that are like derogatory and abusive, like when you have someone, Milo, whatever the fuck his last name is, I don't want to try and mispronounce it because I will. This Milo guy who basically was banned from Twitter for being a racist, and you're like aligning with him, you have to be like, all right, are we on the right side here? Are we doing the right thing right now? Could we spend money, on candidates or Senate candidates or Senate races or just go directly to, the Republican Party instead of funding internet groups that are going to focus on posting gross, shitty memes directly attacking people's like physical, like, like basically being a horrible troll. You know what I mean? Like there's a different way to go about this. And that's bad. He actually talked about this. So all this shit came out and he was like, hey, I'm going to post September 23. He said, I didn't write the Nibble Rich Man posts. I'm deeply sorry my actions are negatively impacting the perception of Oculus and its partners, by the way, who immediately came out against this saying, we're dropping Oculus support for our games. And a lot of people say, well, I guess I'm going to buy a Vive then because I don't want to support this guy who's, if not necessarily a Republican, like someone who wants
just
to
basically an awful person.
Like, hey, like muckraking? I love that.
Aside from his political beliefs, just
trying to be a jerk. Yeah. Basically an asshole.
Very bad.
Yeah, so because I thought the organization had fresh ideas on how to communicate with young voters through the use of several billboards, I'm a libertarian who's publicly supported Ron Paul and Gary Johnson in the past. I have a plan on voting for Gary in this election as well. I committed to the principles of fair play and equal treatment. I did not write the Nimble Rich Man post, nor did I delete the account. Reports that I am a founder or employee of Nimble America are false. Don't have any plans to donate beyond what I've already given. $10,000 he gave himself. Still, my actions do not represent Oculus, and that is fair. I want to say this, that it is not completely logical to damn an entire company full of thousands of incredible. I mean, Oculus had their developer conference, and they had so many like diverse, women, men, people of all different colors and backgrounds and races, like coming together to make games for VR. And just because one guy who works there is like this isn't something you should use to damn an entire
there anymore.
He hasn't said anything since this statement on September 23rd. He wasn't there as a developer.
Even like before that, he was kind of just not
Well, he's
actually involved in the running of it anymore.
Yeah, so he sold the company to Facebook, who basically runs it. But I believe he works as spokesperson and like visionary guy. Like he's like the guy they bring out to talk about it. You know, he's in the company.
Not anymore.
Well, they haven't said anything yet. I'm assuming Facebook was like, hey, how about we just wait to address this till after the election? Like, let's just not even get out here. Basically, the Daily Beast said, let's see here. Here we go. He said, so they posed as you on Reddit to solicit donations? And did you know that was going to happen? He's emailing, to Palmer Luckey before the article comes out. And he says, literally in this email, to the person who wrote this fucking article, I made the post, just not the account. And in his fucking statement saying he's sorry, he said, I did not post that. He literally just immediately lied about it. Not to mention video came out of him talking at a Trump rally wearing a pro I'm for Trump t-shirt. Mr. I'm going to vote for Kerry Johnson in this election. It's just kind of like, dude, shut the fuck up. Make awesome VR games and leave the politics to the politicians. Send your money to a political action campaign, not to a shitposting campaign. You fucking idiot. I mean, he could cost millions of dollars by doing this. It is just insane. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. It's just stupid. He's an idiot. He's 24. Did you know he's 24? What have you done with your life?
I didn't know that until this story started circulating.
I'd like to also mention
that makes sense.
I would like to also mention that his girlfriend is a GamerGator supporter, model lady, and she posts a lot of alt-right memes that he likes on Twitter. So whatever.
Okay. Well, there's somebody out there for everybody.
Yeah, every multi-hundred millionaire or billionaire, maybe. I think he got $1 billion for the Facebook Oculus sale. Every billionaire can get a lady, Anyway, I thought he was just
If I got $1 billion, I would just fucking disappear. I would go live off the grid somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Just I don't understand why people think they need to
send me every
getting involved in politics and stuff.
Send me all the game and all of the movies that ever get made. Just have an account.
Yeah.
Just send it all to my bunker. I will be here. That's me. Don't get involved. It's because the only thing that's going to happen when you get involved is people are going to hate you. Oh.
Yeah. There's very few people that can be smart at whatever thing gets them rich and also be smart at politics.
Yeah. Don't mix it.
Usually you know one or the other.
Stick to business. If you want to get into politics when you're 60 and the color of a Cheeto, do it. But
just make sure that you don't have any embarrassing recordings out there.
Make Oculus Rift. Get those $200 handheld controllers out. Those are coming out.
It's a really good thing that we don't have any embarrassing recordings if we ever run for politics.
For sure. There's no sex crypts or anything going on with me. But anyway, okay. I feel bad. All right. We have a listener who's here live. He wants the coos. He loves the koozie. I feel like I have to do it. I'm going to do a short coos, okay?
Tell me when.
I'm ready. July 19th, Friday, 2002. Hello, Koozie. How's it going? I like that I need to talk to my notebook every time. Well, today I played Chrono Trigger. It was great. I had pizza for lunch. Yum. Then I went to Adam's house. I got a Cowboy Bebop CD from him. I saw the movie Road to Perdition with my dad. It was a good movie. Eric is coming back. That's my brother. Coming back tomorrow. I'm assuming he was at Boy Scout camp or Cub Scout camp.
Or war.
I think it was Cub Scout camp because he 2002, I would have been in the Boy Scouts and he would have been in Cub Scouts. He's coming back tomorrow. That way, George will stop bugging me. Yay. And that's important to say that George was our cat. And he was Eric's best friend and is still alive. And literally, when we were setting this up, I got a text from my brother with a video of George hanging out underneath the covers. This 18-year-old cat that's still around. But that's all I can definitely say because there's some more Adam stuff going on here. So
that's when things really get dirty.
I would like to mention that the next one is February 2004, and I talk about the first election I was able to vote in.
We're just going to slowly morph into a politics show.
No,
Oh.
I don't want to do that. Yeah. Aaron on the chat saying cats live long as shit. The oldest cat currently is 31. Yes, they do get pretty old.
That's insane.
I don't know if George will get that old, but he doesn't seem to be sick for being 18. His teeth are kind of all falling out, but he's still like eats soft food like a maniac. Like he just he's got arthritis. You can see him when he walks. He's a little stiff, but he loves being petted, loves hanging out, still uses the litter box good. Like, yeah, hopefully he sticks around. But yeah, that's Koozie for this week. I just want a little taste since we do got a listener live. I want to give it up as a thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah. All right. Matt?
I'd also like to thank Aaron.
All right, stop. I didn't even talk about Heroes and Generals at all. We'll have to save that for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes and Genitals.
Heroes and Genitals, yeah. It's a new game. But yeah, I played a bunch of that this week. I streamed it. You can go on twitch.tv/John_Danger. See my streams there. Or on the same YouTube channel you're on now. I post the Twitch archive streams. So anyway, we'll talk about other stuff next week, but I think we're close to 2 hours now. So we're at 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the PSVR launch next week since it technically isn't even out yet. So I think we can wait a week.
Yeah, I have to sell it before we do our next podcast.
Yeah, you don't even have one sold yet. That's how new it is. But
yep,
they're in the hands of the gaming press, and the reactions are mixed.
Really? I haven't heard any reactions yet, so it'll be interesting.
Well, super early. It's early tech with early product, and supposedly supposed to be better with the Pro system, and no one's using it with Pro. So
I'm going to say this:
is who knows?
If you want to get one, wait a minute and see what the reviews are like, and then maybe make a decision. I've heard the spectrum of this is incredible. This is the VR headset to buy. This is the thing that's going to break things wide open. And other people are like, this shit doesn't even work. That's the spectrum we have. So
I wonder if it depends on what your previous VR experience is.
I've heard people from all experiences, and some people are like, this fucking thing is broken and can't track anything worth shit, and it makes me sick. And there's other people like, I've had no issues. This is perfect.
Oh, that's disappointing. I hope it doesn't suck, because if it's going to be the biggest mass adopted VR thing so far, and if it's crap, it's just going to turn people off to the whole concept.
I'll say this though, all the reviews I've heard, early reviews, are like, nobody's saying it's crap. They're like, we have the Vive, and it's hard to go down from that level of quality. Because when you think about it, the PSVR, the motion tracking is PlayStation Move controllers from the PS3.
And your headset is just full of move lights.
Yes.
Yep.
It's using motion tracking from 4 years ago. So
longer than that.
Yeah, even longer than that. But I'm sure they made some.
The camera's better though.
Yeah, the camera is better. But regardless, at the very least, 2013 is when that camera came out. So it's a 3-year-old camera. I mean, it is not new tech.
the other thing to keep in mind is in terms of VR gaming specifically. So I don't count like the gear. I don't count any of that in terms of that, even though you can game somewhat on those. In terms of VR gaming, budget option. PlayStation is the budget option. Minimum $300 for PlayStation, $400 for VR. To be VR ready. Well, and a camera, but whatever.
500 for the camera and stuff if you don't already have them.
Yeah, exactly. But whatever. I mean, if you talk about Oculus at its base form, $600 for your VR stuff, and a good PC. And that could run you $500, $600, $700, even more if you want to get high end specs.
Yeah.
Same thing with Vive, $800 for the whole setup, plus a good PC.
At least an $800 PC. You know what I mean? If you're coming from scratch. So
just on the dollars end of it, this is going to be one people are getting because it is the budget VR. But we have to treat it as such. It is budget VR.
But a lot of people said this works enough, and some of the exclusive games are like really cool because they do have publisher support. From Sony.
Yeah, they've got a lot of the licensed stuff. Like,
I really hope, and the most of the things I've heard is I really hope that the tracking stuff is stuff that they can update in firmware and like make better.
And who knows if the good reviews that are coming out, who knows if they're not going out there, to PlayStation Studios and they're not doing that on PlayStation Pro, doing that on the better hardware.
Who knows?
Because that is going to play a big role in terms of difference of
resolution. We'll learn more as it comes out. I mean, like I've heard people that have had it at home have had no problems. People that have had it, at home have, it's just who knows? Like it's consumer, it's out there. Whereas the Vive, if you want a good VR experience, that shit fucking works perfect. Like it is just exactly the best one for sure. Like if you want good VR, it's got it. Like, yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it though. We gotta end. So, any final thoughts?
I think it's time for Mimi Streamy time.
Yeah, I think it is too. We're going to stream some games on our Twitch channels. What are our Twitch channels?
I'm over at twitch.tv/mayofmay. Just my username everywhere else except for Twitter.
Twitch.John_danger. No H.
And I make noise.
Yep.
Twitch TV.
Yep.
/.
So if you want to, I don't know what we're going to play. I think we're going to play a zombie game. So turn the lights off. Watch us all get murdered by zombies. That's it. Website's bornintheeighties.net. You can find us on there. Facebook. Tell your friends about it. If you like it, tell them you can listen to Koozie. If they don't want to listen to the whole episode, they could fast forward to the Koozie corner and hear me lay bare. And I want to give a bit of a tip off here, but there is parts coming up where I talk about my crushes in high school and their pros and cons. We're gonna get to that diary shit, so stick with us. But thanks for listening, and we may have a spooky Halloween show.
We got something in the works.
I want to tease it. We got some ghost experiences possibly in the works. I'm going to tease it because we haven't recorded it yet, but we've got some confirmation set up, so that should be fucking awesome. Looking forward to being spooked out. Hearing some real ghost stories, some real supernatural experiences. So fun. All right, thanks for listening. What was that?
I don't know. I hit a button.
God damn it.
I have trouble finding the ones I'm looking for.
Ruffalo.
Oh wow.
You know what's great, Matt, about audio clips?
What?
I've got a bunch of audio clips too now. So as I've been editing the show, I've been pulling stuff out. You know, like if you've listened
Like
to the
quotes and
intros.
stuff?
Yeah, if you listen to the
Yeah.
intros now, I splice quotes in from the episode. So I'm saving those into one big folder. So we'll have plenty. I'm going to say before we get started, I'm going to grab another glass of scotch. So I'll be right back. You guys, I don't know, guess how I'm going to die. I want to. I'll hear it when I record or when I edit.
I'm gonna murder him when we're doing the ghost investigation. I'm gonna lure him into the woods and murder him.
Pancreatic failure.
I'm gonna die.
Just regular pancreatic failure. And that's sad. As he's going to grab another scotch, I'm now thinking I should go get a couple of Dr. Peppers, because beverages.
I'm in the sad position of being out of both beer and money to buy beer. So I'm drinking water. Delicious water.
Well, I got paid 13 and a half hours ago, so that was a thing.
I need to make it till next Friday somehow with like minimal groceries and I'll probably have to buy gas at some point during the week.
Cut it up.
It's gonna be a rough week.
Yeah.
But come Friday, I'll be flush with cash.
The barrels of scotch are ringing. Oh. You hear that? Thank you, Matt, for that. Uh-oh.
What happened?
My brother just sent me a video.
I thought of another thing I can talk about.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I got my topics, so. No, I didn't say your fucking name.
Say my name, if no one is around you. Sorry.
Wait.
Las ruedas del autobús dan vueltas y vueltas, vueltas y vueltas,
Thank
vueltas y vueltas. Las ruedas del autobús dan vueltas y vueltas todo el día.
There you go. All right. So we've got lots to talk about. I'll just remove Adam's anime.
I'm too stoned to do this.
Thank you. Adam's not here for those listening live, but we're going to start the recording right now, so not too bad.
Adam's not feeling well.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, he's a little under the weather.
Smoke weed every day.
Oh, I was hoping you
I'm too
played it.
stoned to do this.
Yeah. That's Adam.
I need to just have a whole soundboard of weed references. So
Let's have a weed soundboard.
don't run out.
I need to get another computer monitor. I've said this. How do you hook up two monitors? Do you just go two video outputs out of the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a video card that has 3 outputs, but can only support 2 simultaneous. Just plug in 2, and you're all good.
Okay, my video card has only one DVI, so I would need to get an HDMI monitor or a DisplayPort because it has like 3 DisplayPort and like 2 HDMI.
Yep.
Yeah. My
The
main
current-
monitor is HDMI and my side one is just a display port.
Yeah, I need to get
Yep.
another one. Anyway, so that's cool. I'm going to work on that because Twitch streaming requires me to have chat. And we'll do a little bit more after the episode, so you guys can stay tuned to that.
Although there is a temporary fix for that. You can just have a tablet next to you just with the chat.
I would like to mention that my 2 Twitch streams I did this week, which was Wednesday at Warmac, which you guys joined me for some Heroes in General.
Yes,
And
we did.
when I was homesick from work on Thursday, I decided to play as an American, and I actually got my laptop, and it's just sat on my desk, so I could look at the chat there. And Pitbull joined us again.
That's cool.
He was giving me more tips, as were a couple other people. Seems like people like to watch that being played.
Apparently.
Well, it's a free-to-play game that's on the top 5 on Steam, so it's probably pretty popular. All right, we should get started, though. You ready?
As I'll ever be.
Get those nerds! Nerd!
And with that,